Hi, I'm Margo, and I love to cook. In today's segment, we're going to be making a coconut flour-based banana bread with some extra yummies that I'm calling breakfast bread. Hi friends, it's me, and I'm in my kitchen again today, and I am making what I'm calling breakfast bread as a little bit of a meal prep for the week. Let's get started. I've already preheated my oven to 325, and I've already greased my baking pan with coconut oil. I'm just going to grab my mixing bowl and get ready to mix up all of our wet ingredients. Come take a look at the ingredients we do have. So we have some chocolate chips, we have some maple syrup, we have 3 very ripe bananas, we have a little bit of cashews, 3 eggs, pumpkin pie spice, a bit of cinnamon, and today we're gonna be using coconut flour. We're gonna need 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. So I'm gonna take our little tablespoon here. We're gonna get in really good here. We're gonna call that 1. Ooh. Coconut oil is very thick. If you've never used it before, it doesn't come as a liquid. It comes as this thick kind of paste. You can absolutely melt it, which would make your mixing easier. But because we have banana, I feel pretty confident that we can mix everything all together very evenly. And then 1 more of those guys. Then we're going to put in our maple syrup. Just right on in there. Now the maple syrup is going to be our sweetening agent. We're not going to be using any sugar. This is going to be somewhat of a healthy breakfast. I'm calling it breakfast bread. It's a take on regular kind of traditional banana bread, except I'm using coconut flour as opposed to regular baker's flour because I am making this gluten-free. And you can actually easily make this recipe vegan by not using eggs and by using applesauce instead. But we happen to have these great eggs that need to get used in our kitchen, so I am going to use eggs today. So I'm going to get in here with these bananas. These are super, super ripe. So they should just very easily come apart and go into our little mixture here. You're gonna want all the little like veins to come away from your peels. Which sometimes when you have super ripe bananas, it's easier, and then as you see, sometimes it is not. The peels also lose their texture, and they become very soft as well. So now we're gonna mix it all together. Come on in close. So I'm using a fork so that I can really smash the bananas. You can use a hand mixer if you would like, but I like to use my hand mixer and just get in there real good with the bananas and smush everything together. Up against the side is perfect because then you're using it as leverage. And then once you have everything fully mixed together, we'll begin to add our dry ingredients. We're gonna need 2.5 cups of our flour. Again, I'm using coconut flour because I'm making this recipe gluten-free. You can use traditional baker's flour, you can use almond flour. Whatever flour is your preference, you can use for baking. Okay, so we got about 1 cup here, right in. We're gonna do 2 cups here. And actually, since the recipe traditionally calls for 2.5 cups of flour, and coconut flour is known for being much more of a thick ingredient, I'm only going to use 2 cups. The mixture will get nice and thick, see, just like that, like a traditional cookie flour or a cake flour. So I'm going to throw in some cinnamon because that's what we do here. We put cinnamon in everything. And then I'm also going to put in pretty much a heavy-handed amount of pumpkin spice because we are still up in fall and I like to give things a little bit of a fall twist. I'm gonna do a heavy-handed amount of pumpkin spice right there because the banana flavor kind of takes on the life of the bread, and so does the coconut flour. So we want to make it as tasty as possible. And you see how it is very thick, the coconut flour. So we may want to add maybe a little bit of water to the mixture just so that everything kind of combines together in a nice batter instead of a kind of mixture. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna add a cup of water. I'm gonna add that right in there. And guys, cooking isn't exactly, you know, a science. You just kind of play around. That's what I do. I just look and see what we're doing here, and then I think about what could we do that makes this a little bit different, a little bit better, a little bit more special, and I just kind of throw it all in, whatever that is. Okay, so now we're gonna put in our chocolate chips and our cashews. And I do that for a little bit of crunch because then it makes it feel more like a breakfast. I'm gonna tumble everything into the little baking pan that we've already greased with our coconut oil. And again, you could use butter, you could use vegetable oil, you could use Crisco, whatever your little heart desires. My heart desires coconut oil, especially for this coconut bread recipe. And we're just gonna smush it down. Nice and even, make it so that it cooks through. And again, we're making a bread, so it doesn't have to be, you know, a science. We're making almost like a beer bread, that type of texture. That's what we're looking for, except there's no beer, and this one's gonna be for breakfast instead of like a dinner bread. Okay, and I'm gonna just do like this with my fork because it's making really awesome designs in the top of the bread. It's giving it a nice good texture. All right. So now we're gonna place it in our oven for 45 minutes, or we'll check it about halfway through. Watch out, Chino. In goes the bread. And we'll set our timer for 45, and we'll just keep an eye out that we're gonna check it as we go along. So our timer just went off for the 45 minutes, and we're gonna go in and see if it's ready. Okay, a great trick again is use the chopstick. I know I said this before, but you can place it right in the center and you pull it out, and there's no cake batter on the ends from here to here. It's not like wet and sticky. Then you know that your cake mixture is done. It is very hot, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut a slice. So I'm gonna use this little spatula here. I'm also gonna just loosen up the side. There we go. I should have put my plate a little bit closer. I'm gonna grab the other half too. It is a little crumbly because it's nice and warm. Really, you should let it cool quite a bit before serving it. But I'm really excited to dive up into here. Now, because I used coconut flour and we only put a small amount of maple syrup inside the mixture, I do like to top it with a little bit of maple drizzle to give it a little bit of added moisture and a little bit of added sweetness. So I'm gonna give it a little taste here. I'm gonna try and get a piece with the cashews and the chocolate. It's nice and warm and very good. Not too much banana flavor, which is what I was kind of hoping for. I didn't want it to feel too much like a banana bread, but it's really, really good. And so I'm excited to have a couple of slices this week for breakfast. It's a nice change. So melted, chocolatey. So, so good. Do you want to come over for breakfast? I'll see you next time. Bye.